Okay. Good morning, everyone. Those who are joining right now our webinar. It's really great to see you here all today. I want to say thank you, first of all, to being part of discussion today that we are going to have. This is related to a very important and very actually interesting topic, which is testing and quality engineering and general testing as a career. How important QA role is and what skills does it require to thrive into the field and how it leads to the success of the product. There is, I believe, no doubt that testing plays a very important role in the quality of each and every digital product. You might, I'm not sure, but you might already part of IT world, or you might never thought that you will be part of it. But today we will try to open some opportunities to you and challenges that this world can face, and we'll try, of course, to give you some insights. First of all, before we start, I would like you to ask to follow the instructions that you see on our slide. Please go to menti.com and enter the code that is provided on the screen, or you can just scan the QR code that you see, because we will try to make this discussion interactive. So it will be really nice if you go there and answer to some of our questions and some of the statements and vote and be part of this discussion. So please join our Menti and be ready. The code is, I believe, will be shared with you as well. So just to briefly introduce myself. Yeah. My name is Nino, and I am Senior Software Testing Engineer in EPAM. I believe already almost 4 years. And I worked in EPAM on different projects related to different entertainment industries, e-commerce, website and mobile applications, finances, etc. I also play a resource manager role. I have a pool of 4 people, and I try to help them to success in their career, to grow their skills, and try to find for them projects that are relevant and appropriate, and of course, the project that they wish to work on. I am really great. I'm really happy to be here with you and share some of my experience, some of my knowledge and practical skills that I've obtained during this year, and dive deeper with you, of course, into the world of testing generally, how it works, what are its types, etc., etc. So just to warm up, first of all, I would like you once again to check our Menti, where we have prepared for you one kind of voting options about why are you here. And there are 4 possible answers to this. I am here because I am looking for career opportunities. I already work in IT but want to follow different paths. I want to change my current job, or I want to work in IT in general. So please go to once again to Menti and please vote for one of those options. Let's wait for your answers. It's going to be very interesting for us. Let's see which one wins today. Okay, we have 2 votes for I want to work in IT in general. We have 1 vote for I'm looking for career opportunities, and I want to change my current job. Okay, now we have 2 votes for I'm looking for career opportunities, and I want to work in IT in general. That's really, really great answer. So I believe you are already interested in the topic and you want to learn some more information about it, right? So none of us work in IT already. Okay, great. Now we can move to our agenda of the meeting. And I will briefly try to explain what's going to be the topics of our discussion today. First of all, we will just try to briefly summarize what is IT in general, what role does QA plays in it, how important it is, and we will give you also some examples. Then we will move to the part where your engagement is needed. Of course, we will be describing and analyzing some myths that are evolving around testing as a discipline. We will also try to summarize and try to describe what is functional testing and what is automated testing and what is the difference between them, just for you to evaluate. And by the end of our meeting, we will have a Q&A session where we will try to answer all your questions. So now make sure you have noted some of your questions. Maybe you already have them, or maybe during this presentation you will note down some based on different slides. Please do not hesitate to do so. And by the end of our meeting, when we will go to this part, we will answer, we will try at least to answer all of your questions. So let's move to our the first part of the presentation, which is related to IT in general. So let's describe it first of all before moving to testing. I believe that all of you during the last couple of years, especially when COVID started, we all hear IT, that it is everywhere. We hear a lot of IT conferences, IT webinars, meetings, events, product launches on the market, and it seems like it is everywhere. Everyone is talking about AI, etc., etc., and it basically affects our everyday life, right? It started to affect how we work, how we communicate with our relatives, with our friends, how we shop, what is our shopping behavior right now, right? How we spend our leisure time, how we work on different tasks. It's quite obvious that technology is affecting our life, and it makes our life faster. For example, we can right now order a pizza with our favorite application, and it's going to be at our door like in 30 minutes, right? Or we can go to some of our favorite e-commerce application and order something from China, and it's going to be with us in like 1 week, right? So this made our life faster, and some people like it, some people don't like it, but it's very dependent, right? But what we need to take into account, we need to take into account that behind each app and each digital product that we use in our everyday life stands IT team who is diligently working day and night to make user experience really great, make the digital product in a high quality and deliver it to end users, right? Here where lies the importance and necessity of QA team, because when the quality or on the head of the quality of the product is, of course, QA team. I'm not saying that this is solely dependent on QA. Of course, this is the whole processes where which involves different disciplines like development, design, business, product, etc., etc. But QA team is always on top of the quality, right? It makes sure that QA team makes sure that functional requirements is okay for the system. It makes sure that performance is okay. It makes sure that compatibility on different devices are okay. And the most part of the QA work is that they try to prevent, or if it already happens, find already existing incident bugs and anomalies of the system. If we talk about bugs and some errors which different digital products can have. We I believe very often, not maybe very often, but at least sometimes, we noticed some errors or some issues with the applications that we use. For example, we have presented to you the errors when we are trying to buy a ticket for our favorite concert or our favorite football match, when we want to buy an online ticket, but at the end of the flow, we see that there is an error on the screen, right? It says that there is some error code 5006 something. It's not quite obvious what is happening, but as an end user, our problem is that we could not achieve what we wanted to do, right? We wanted to buy a ticket for the concert or for the match, but eventually the application did not allow us to do so, right? This is a bug, of course. This is the anomaly of the system, and QA work is to prevent such things happening from production, so that end users do not get frustrated, business do not lose money, and of course, to stay as the product competitive on the market, right? Because right now, as we are talking, that more and more products are getting digitalized, we see new and new applications every day on the market. This means that there is a lot of rivalry, right? And here is important that the product that we are offering to the customers has really good quality and is reliable. If it's not, then our end users will choose something else, and we will, of course, lose the money in the end of the day. This affects badly business, right? A lot. Another of such example we can see, for example, when we want to transfer money from one account to another account, but we are not able to do so. We see the transaction is failed. And we cannot successfully complete the operation. The similar issues, I just want to notice that this is not happening only for the startup companies or for the small companies which are not quite rich, but this can happen to such huge market players as, for example, Netflix. I remember like a couple of months ago, Netflix has an issue with buffering, and it caused a lot of frustration among the customers, right? Because even when you work in entertainment industry, you want to make your customer satisfied, right? You want them to feel comfortable, safe, because they spend money on this. For example, for Netflix, we have monthly subscriptions. We pay money for this, and what we want to achieve, right? We want, by the end of the day, when we come back from work, we're really tired, really busy from our everyday routine. We want to drink some beer with some of our friends. We want to watch some favorite TV shows, but it turns out that sometimes this system can be down. There can be some problem with the software, and we are not able to chill, to do some leisure activities in the evening. And of course, the next time it might affect our behavior as a customer, right? If we go to the next slide, we will see such example. This is regarding Netflix. And by the end of the day, when we say that it may affect customer behavior, what we are saying, right? We are saying that now we might cancel the subscription, or we might choose different provider, and eventually, in this case, of course, Netflix will lose its loyal customers. one more important thing is that it's the when we have anomalies of the system, when we have bugs or unstable infrastructure, this can lead to very serious consequences, and it can even threat the life of other people, even when we are talking about the industries like healthcare or like airplanes, right? Because the services that different companies provide to such businesses is very serious, is very important, and it can affect the lives of other people. So we have to be very careful. We have one example, for example, from Maldives airport, where because of the Microsoft outage, there millions of people, travelers, were affected. Flights were delayed. Planes could not park well. There was a problem with money transaction. There was a huge queues in the airport, etc., etc. So it's very important that at some point this can even affect the well-being of other people, right? So this is just to highlight the importance of IT work and the quality of it, right? If we talk a little bit more about testing and IT and what role testing plays in this field. I would just want to highlight that even though we talked about the challenges and importance of it, we need to also mention the benefits of what does this field and this huge world brings to us. What I want to mention in the first point is that this is a world where you will learn something new each day, right? Because this is ever evolving field, and every day there is something new, which means that us as people who are working in IT and especially in testing, we need to keep up, right? We need to be always on track. We need to check what are news in the IT world. Like, for example, right now it's very trendy and everyone is talking about AI, right? For me personally, it means that I need to learn more about AI. I need to start using it in my everyday life and in work. I need to keep myself updated, right? So this means that it gives us a lot of chances to learn and create and build an awesome career, right? This means that we will learn new skills each day. We will expand our knowledge in so many ways. We will expand our knowledge in different industries, on different tools that we are going to use during our work, etc. And based on this, which is also very important, usually this is what is happening, that as we grow our knowledge, our expertise, our experience, and as we learn new skills, our salary expectation is of course higher, and our salary is growing. This is very rewarding, actually, in this world, that people really value the expertise of the person and the knowledge, of course, of the person about the industry. And if we are talking about the benefits of testing as a career, we also have to mention how collaborative this career can be, and how important is to have integrity when you work as a tester. And let's briefly describe what do I mean by this, right? By having a collaborative career. So when you are a tester, you cannot work solely on yourself, right? You are part of the team, and this team can be consisted of developers, automation engineers, DevOps, designers, business analysts, product team, project management. What does it mean? As a QA, you are kind of medium between those different disciplines, and you work with designers, for example. You work with business analysts and try to analyze requirements, try to evaluate whether those requirements are good or not. You work, of course, with the developers. You work with a product team, product owners, and you are free to suggest any suggestions about improvement of the product. Of course, when you work on a healthy project, you are involved in every step of the product development, and you are free to suggest any ideas that you have regarding how we can improve the product, what we need to do to make user satisfaction and client satisfaction better, and what can be suggested to improve the processes of the project, right? So it's very interesting in this manner as well, because as you work with different people, you learn every day something new from them. For instance, when I work with designers, I try to use their tools like Figma, for example. I try to understand how they work, what is their process, what with some tools, etc. If I work with business analysts, I work with requirements. I try to analyze them. I try to find some gaps in the requirements and suggest some improvements, etc., etc. So I think this is very interesting, and it prevents us to burn out or to get bored of our work. And also this means that we are not doing something routine, right? We every day we have communication with different people, and we learn something new from them. Another benefit that I would like to mention is that testing allows us to work on in different industries. For example, in EPAM we have projects which are very diverse, and they are related to some of them, for instance, are related to healthcare domain. Some of them are related to finances. Some of them e-commerce applications. Also, we work on website and mobile applications. Diverse industries for us as testers, how it is beneficial to us, what does it give, right? We as a person, for example me, I might be interested more in entertainment industries, and I might have possibility to choose whether I want to work in healthcare or in e-commerce. Maybe I am thinking that for me it's better to work in e-commerce, because this gives me a chance to work with some transactions or some APIs that I'm interested in, and also I think that this is very trendy right now, and I want to learn more about testing e-commerce applications. But the other person might think that for them it's better to join the project which is related to gaming, and quite a lot of people like to be part of such projects because of their personal interests, right? Some people like to do this in their leisure time, and they also want to be interested in gaming development, and they want to be part of such project. So what I'm trying to say is that there are different kind of projects, and as a tester you can even have possibility to choose which industry are you interested in, or maybe if you have if you are right now part of some e-commerce project, but you think that this is boring for you, or you are working there already like 5 years and you want to change this, you might also have a chance to move to another domain like healthcare, and of course improve your skills, learn something new, and grow as a professional. And healthcare is quite trendy also right now. And as a tester, I think that it's generally not related only for testers, but for IT. Most of the jobs are remote, right? I believe you also heard already about it, that most of the job openings, I believe, are remote. And what does it mean? It means that you can work from home, or the environment, of course, that you feel comfortable. Maybe some people prefer to work from co-working spaces, some from their, I don't know, village, as long as they have strong internet connection. And another type of working options, of course, is hybrid. And hybrid means that part of your work week you work from home, and half of the work week you work from the office. I'm not sure, to be honest, about the local market, but if you are joining as a tester for like remote job opportunities, for example, you work from Georgia, but you work for the company which operates in UK or in USA, or any other European countries, you will most definitely have to do remote work from here. This is very flexible, of course. You don't have to commute to your work, and as we know, for example, in our city, there is a huge problem with the traffic. You are avoiding all this. You do not spend extra time for this, and a lot of other benefits, right? Now, as we talked about how flexible and how beneficial is that to become a tester and to pursue this career, I believe, and me personally also, I have heard a lot of myth that is how to say that exists around this field. Some of them are very interesting, some of them very argumentative. And I would like you once again to go to Mentee. And we have prepared for you some kind of game. We will present to you a statement, and you need to choose whether you think this is a myth or a truth. So please join, and let's play this game. First, myth, yeah, or reality. Statement is testing requires no skills. So please choose one of the options, whether you think it's truth or myth. Okay, we have quite the equal answers to myth and truth. Okay, let's evaluate. Okay, we see it's a false statement. Let's discuss it, because some of you, I see, think that this is true, but let's think about this way, right? there are some set of skills, personal skills, of course, and then as you grow in the career, or, of course, I'm not talking about the professional skills that you will need to develop, like technical skills, etc., etc. But even if you want to start a career in testing, you will have to have some very basic kind of personal attributes to start and develop in this career successfully, and those are mostly detail, or a person should be detail oriented, and the person should be observant, and of course it also requires creativity. And why I am saying this, why do we need to be detail oriented? Because when you testing process is very important, and it and needs to be done thoroughly. We need to pay attention to each detail of the requirement and each detail of the system, because it can lead to serious consequences. Even when we are talking about some misspelling of the sentences, or the incorrect colors that is used in the application, we might think that this is not important, but at the end of the day, it's very important, and it can affect the UI of the application, user experience. It can affect the accessibility of the application, and which means that each detail is important, and for each detail, whether it's minor detail or huge, we need to pay attention. And why do we say that testers need to be creative? Because this whole process that we are doing, starting from analyzing requirements, or creating some test cases, all these needs creativity. We need to think out of the box. We are not people who think straightforward. We read something and then we write based on the test case. We need to think about different, we need to place ourselves, for instance, in other people's shoes, like end users, for example. We need to think about how they think, how would they communicate with the application, what behavior will they have. So this requires a lot of creativity. Okay, let's move to another myth, which is testing. Yeah, first of all, please join. And our next statement is, testing is all about finding bugs, defects. So let's see how many of you think that this is myth, or how many of you think that this is truth. Let's see. Okay, myth. Okay, great. 5 of you think that is a myth. Most of you. Some people also think that this is true. Good. That's most of you had the correct answer. That's really great. Yeah, of course, this is not about finding bugs, and I believe that I already mentioned a couple of times that testing and tester needs to be involved in different stages of the project, and on each stage they need to be proactive, they need to ask questions, they need to evaluate, analyze, and try to find some quality gates. What does it mean? When we are saying that testing is about ensuring quality, validating requirements, or improving user experience, this goes to different stages on the project, and not only when something is implemented, some feature is already implemented by the developer, but even before code is written, and even something is deployed to testing environment. And by it, I mean that when we get from the product a new feature requirements, or they want dev team to develop something and implement, we need from the beginning to start evaluating the requirements, start to evaluate what product needs, and try to find some gaps with the requirement, try to analyze designs, and find if we see there are some discrepancies or if we have some questions. Now, all this can happen even before actual feature is implemented. This is first stage, and then after we have developed the strategy of testing plan, what are we going to test and how, then and the feature is already implemented on test environment, we start actual testing, and make sure that no defect leakage is going on the production, right? So as you probably already noticed, it's not just testing, but it's a lot of work that we need to do right prior. Okay, our next myth is testing is mostly routine, repetitive job. Okay, guys, once again, let's evaluate this statement and give us your opinion. What do you think? Testing is mostly routine, repetitive job. Is it myth or is truth? Let's wait for a couple of seconds and see the result. Okay, great. Once again, most of you answered correctly on this question, which is great. Testing, some people might think, of course, the testing is boring and repetitive, but yeah, I think we already understand why it's not true, because previously I've mentioned that as long as we are working every day with new people, as long as we work with new tools, we learn new skills, this makes obvious that our job is not routine and boring. But of course, I'm not saying that some people does not like to do routine tasks. Some people do. It's not a problem. But yeah, generally, if we want to thrive bigger in this career, we need to be open-minded. We need to always learn something new and make sure our skills are updated, right? Okay, I think our game is over. This was the last myth that we were going to discuss, and thank you for all your answers. I believe we are on the same page there. Now let's move and try to briefly describe two main types of testings that we are going to present to you today. Of course, this is not all. There are a lot more, but we will be focusing today about functional testing and about automated testing. First of all, let's evaluate what is functional testing and how it applies, right? Just to simply summarize about functional testing, the most simple description, I would say, is that functional testing is checking whether system works as it should work, whether it what is expected. So system should work as per functional requirement. And how does it apply? Let's think of the real life examples that I believe we all do in our everyday life. For example, let's start with some e-commerce application. Let's say that we want to order a t-shirt from our favorite app. Functional testing would check different cases. In let's see, we want to add t-shirt to our shopping cart. What will functional testing check? Functional testing will check that we are able to find the product in the list, we are able to click on cart button on the product details page, and it will also check that after clicking on the button, product is added to our personal cart. This is most widely used example, I believe, but it applies in different web or mobile applications. For example, in banking, it will check that where you can transfer money from account A to account B, and correct amount of money is transferred to the correct account. Or maybe in game, some game feature is working and functions as expected, right? Or in healthcare, patient management system works as expected. We can give you a lot of different examples, but I believe you understand the point of functional testing. Now, we also want to describe what are basic skills that is required to start a career in functional testing. And we pointed out, I think, the most important skills. We think that is important. First of all, of course, it's English proficiency level from B1 and higher. And why do we think that it is important? First of all, there are a lot of self-study materials, for example. For functional testing, there are a lot of videos, different courses, which are mainly in English, right? For instance, in EPAM, as I know, as we have these functional testing courses, all the material, theoretical, practical, everything is in English. So you will, to study, to learn something, you will need this language for sure. Moreover, if you go successfully the first stages of learning functional testing, and you will start working on the project, and you start your remote work, you for sure gonna need English to communicate with the customer, to communicate with your team, and you should be able to do that, right? For instance, me, in my as I joined EPAM like 4 years ago, since then I work with the project that operates in Europe and America, and it means that for me, the whole day I have to communicate with them in English, right? So this is very important. Another skills that we pointed out is strong communication skills, and I think this is already clear for you why it is so, because as we discussed, the tester's job is to work with different people from different disciplines. They need to have good communication skills to have the whole flow and the processes on a good level, right? Good computer knowledge, this is, I guess, quite obvious. Why? And has an idea of what functional testing is. Of course, at the start of your career, you don't have to be the expert, or no one expects you to do so. But as you grow, you of course need to improve your knowledge. But at the beginner's level, you need to have done at least some research. Why do you want to learn this functional testing? Why do you want to be involved in testing general? And what is your aim, right? Just to do some comparison with functional and automated testing. Now let's move to automated testing. Let's first of all briefly describe what it is, how it applies, and what skills it requires, and then we can compare a little bit the difference between them. Automated testing is more technical, and what does it do? It requires tester to write automated scripts, and It also requires to have some software tools to execute those scripts and test cases effectively. Why beneficial to have automated testing? It's beneficial because it saves a lot of manual effort. And it gives us opportunity to run daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever is the aim of our project. Um, uh, Routinely, like we can run like thousands of tests each day, just to be sure that our system is stable and nothing big, we don't have any big problems, right? These checks can be run daily because it gives us information about the healthiness of the builds, right? And how it can help manual team. It can help manual team a lot to save their time while doing regression testing before the release, for example, and give us some insights about, as I mentioned, healthiness of the product. But I would say that not everything can be automated, and automation is mostly applied to big projects and the projects which run in the long term, because it's expensive, of course. So the skills that needs to be needs to have for the person who wants to start learning automation testing is more technical than functional, and we have some more additions here. For example, person needs to on the next slide we see that the person needs to have at least willingness, of course, to learn programming basics like Java, .NET, Python, etc. Because, as I mentioned, they need to write some scripts, they have some frameworks, and they need to be able to write and execute test cases which are relevant, right, and beneficial for the quality of the product. We have also identified here logical problem solving skills and understanding of functional testing. And why automated testing needs understanding of functional testing? Because those are two parts of quality, right? Manual, functional, and automated. But so that automation tester write the test cases which benefit the quality of the product, they need to understand what testing is, how does it work, what is functional testing, and what they need to check to make sure that product has quality that is expected. So for this, it's very not beneficial, but this is one of the main points why automation testing is required. So they have to have really strong understanding of functional testing principles. Just as for functional testing, here we have English level and communication skills. English level, for obvious reasons, here as well is very important, because it's at least at the beginner stage, and then as well, of course, you have to go through some learning materials, go through some courses, you will have to communicate in the team with the project clients, etc. So it's really important to have good communication skills and proficiency of English level. So just to kind of summarize and to understand, I believe we discussed what and we see what is different between functional testing and automated testing. Those are two main types of testing. But once again, I will repeat that this is not the whole picture. Of course, there are a lot more and very interesting, by the way, performance testing, security testing, etc. And each of them are very interesting to dive into and learn more. So I think this is like a really big world of opportunities that you can start creating your career in. So as I promised, by the end of our meeting, we will have a Q&A session. And now it's time for this. We have a couple more minutes actually to answer to your questions. So feel free to send your questions. I will be able to see it on the screen, and I will try to answer all of them that we're gonna have. So yeah, please do not hesitate to send your questions. Okay, let's see the first one. How much time will it take from start of training to the first QA job? Well, okay, this question is very interesting, but I'm not sure I can give you like exact time frame, because this is of course dependent on the person. Some people are like fast learners. Some people are take more time, of course, to learn something. So so in my opinion, for example, and in my case, approximately I had like 6 months before I started to work on a project, but of course with the supervision of a lead QA. Because when you start your first work, it's very important that you have someone like a mentor who works with you and discuss with him or her some your problems, some your challenges. They will also help you to get more theoretical and practical knowledge, and they will also help you to decrease the amount of problems that you might have on the project. So I would say approximately like 6 months, but it's very dependent on the person. Okay, let's switch to another question. Is it a good strategy to enter IT as a tester, then switch to engineer? Okay, I can give you my opinion regarding this, and let's evaluate. First, think that when you start IT career as a tester and then switch to engineer. Why I think that this is very good idea to start IT as a tester, because it gives you a lot of insights. When you start career when you start working in IT as a tester, first of all, of course, you learn what testing is, what is the processes on the project, what is working with the product, write test cases, test scripts, for example, if you are automation, and it gives you different perspective of the product, because development team is more straightforward. They implement some of their features, they do some unit tests, and then they ask QA team to check whether it has some bugs or not. But when you start as a tester, you have different insights. You think in a different way, and this will help you to success as an engineer as well. If you want to switch your career, and you will be more open-minded to the works that you will do, and you will think in a different ways as testers think. So I believe that this can help you a lot to success. As a front-end or back-end engineer in your career, and I believe it will give you a bit more insights about the project. But we have examples, and in my career and in my the project that I worked on, I had both options. When a person started as a tester and then moved to be a front-end developer or back-end developer, and I had experience. Actually, it was my lead who started as a developer, but then moved to testing, because they found that testing is more of their job than being a developer. Okay, I believe I answered to your question. Now we can move to another. Okay, we have this question. Hello, thank you for the topic. What are the pros and cons of using AI in daily routines? Thank you so much for this question. It's a very interesting one because, as I mentioned during the presentation, there is a whole new trend regarding AI, and everyone is talking about it. And actually, what I noticed that some projects start to use AI to help them to save some time for developers and for testers. Um, and me personally, I also start to use it as we got the confirmation from the project. And I can give you some examples from my personal experience, what I find in using AI beneficial, and what I think that is disadvantages for using it. First of all, as I started using AI tool, which is, by the way, EPAM provided, um, this helps me to save a lot of my time on my daily routine stuff. For example, when I start working on test cases, I give the prompt to the AI tool, and I am generating test cases with the help of this tool. It saves a lot of my time. It does all this stuff automatically. Uploads the test cases to the tools that we use for test management, etc., etc. And yeah, as I said, it's very good for me to save some time. But what I noticed about it is that AI usually is not precise as long as you don't give them a very precise prompt. And also, what is the problem of AI in general is that they require a lot of high quality data to give you precise outcome. If it does not have such, then for example, in my cases that I create is not specific, it's not exact, and if I do not monitor it, then it means that I will have wrong information in it. This is a general problem for AI, that it requires high quality and big amount of data. For now, at least, I'm not sure how it's going to be developed in the future. This is clearly a disadvantage. What other disadvantages can I think of? Of course, this is expensive, and not each project can have it. Also, it requires special training, etc. And what is most important, and what I always try to say, is that when we work with AI, we need to be very careful, especially if we want to give it some personal data or some project data. AI needs to be needs to comply with regulations, and if it does not, it can lead to very serious legal issues. So we need to be careful with it. And one more advantage that I can think of is that it can help us to do some analysis, to do some root cause analysis. For example, in my case, defect leakage, when I try to analyze the defect leakage using AI tool, it gave me some very helpful insights. So, like, in general, it has a lot of advantages, and it's really good that we start using it. But we have to be very precise and very careful, and try to always use a tool that complies with the legal regulations. It is very important. Okay, guys, I believe we are already at the end of our meeting. Thank you so much for your questions. I think that, and I hope that you found this meeting useful, and you got some more information about testing. And one more thing that I want to mention is that if you have some more questions and we were not able to answer to you today, feel free to find me on LinkedIn, direct message me about any questions that you have, and I will try to give you some more information, maybe some materials, even if you are interested in. So yeah, feel free to contact me. Thank you so much for today's meeting. It was really great to be with you, and see you later. Bye bye.